Hi friends, here's a not so fun fact. Last year, the World Health Organization designated loneliness as a global public health concern. Research shows that loneliness is as bad for people's health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Loneliness is literally killing us. I tuned into a podcast the other day, and one of the guests, he was a pastor, he'd observed that a lot of folks have been duped into thinking that coming to a church service with countless other people week after week, singing the songs, listening to a message, that is a sufficient antidote to combat loneliness. That being in the same room with lots of other people means they're experiencing community. The irony is, and maybe you've experienced this, you can be surrounded by tons of people and yet very much feel alone. That's because community doesn't actually happen on Sunday mornings. At least not deep, authentic, life-changing community. Don't get me wrong, Sundays are great and they have a purpose for sure. On Sundays, we collectively sing and we pray. We learn together as a big old church family what it means to follow Jesus better together. So Sundays totally matter, but Sundays are not a substitute for community. I'm convinced that resistance to loneliness does happen, however, in the context of home groups. And so our community, Grassroots, has taken another church's ABCs of small groups and we tweaked it a bit. We're calling it the A squared BCDs of home groups. Just kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? But it points to things that directly combat loneliness. Things like accountability, authenticity, belonging, caring, and discipleship. These are all the things that we're striving to achieve through our home groups. And sure, that's a tall order, but the idea is that over time, through continued life together, through meeting regularly and with intention, praying for one another, serving others together, that folks will experience a greater sense of connectedness and less loneliness. And here's the other thing. When we do life in home groups, we are creating moments of potential conversations and experiences that can lead to personal breakthrough, be they spiritual or other, potential life-changing friendships that can form outside of those home group contexts, potential insights from others that can help us deal with our own junk, potential challenges to our assumptions and our prejudices about others that can change our outlook on life in general. In other words, incorporating a rhythm of regularly gathering with a small group of humans from our community has the potential of aligning us with the way of Jesus, which isn't just personally beneficial, but is actually better for the entire world too. Jesus followers are called to be agents of reconciliation in a broken and hurting world, and home groups can be a way for us to carry out that calling. So my point is this: home groups matter and you should join one. Not just because they push against the epidemic of loneliness, but because they have the potential to lead to change in us and in the world around us. They're an important part of the life of a Christian. So seriously, join one. And by join one, I mean start attending a group and then commit to sticking with it. And I get that we're crazy busy with life, and so the ask is not a simple one. But I'm challenging you to prioritize, to cut the time out in your schedules to make it happen. Now, the commitment is not that outrageous, to be real. Most groups meet every other week. We've got about half a dozen or so home groups happening right now, and I'm almost positive there's a group here with your name on it. And if there's not, heck, let's start one. The thing is, none of us can do life well alone, so let's just stop pretending that we can. Find a small group of humans who are willing to encourage and challenge you, who aren't going to judge you, and where you can experience the joys and pains of stumbling through life together. Get started by visiting grassroots.church/homegroups to read more about all that this ministry entails, and then connect with myself or Sherilyn, and we'll get you plugged in ASAP. Okay, that was long, but thanks for sticking it out. I love our Grassroots community, and I am honored to serve as your pastor, so thanks for coming along. We'll see you Sunday morning or at the next home group meeting.